All right, what I got here is I've got a couple pairs of Allen Edmonds shoes that just came in. I opened one of them up and I figured they're brand new, they needed a shoe shine, so I thought I'd go ahead and shoot a video on how I shine my shoes. I'm not a professional shoe shiner, but I do have a certain technique that I use. I know this is an outdoor type of channel, do-it-yourself type of channel, and shoes may not be high priority for a lot of guys, but as a ranch, I do have a couple other businesses also, and I do have to wear a suit and tie quite often, so the shoes got to be appropriate to fit that also. Again, I opened these Allen Edmonds already from the main box. I haven't taken them out of the bag yet. So Allen Edmonds, they come in their own bag like this. Take a look at them. It is a cap toe derby style. It's not a true Oxford, it's a derby. So this is oxblood, I believe, this color. So they come out pretty nice out of the box, but it's not really a high polished shine. And you can do different layers of shines. It depends on what you want. You could wear it right out of the box like this if that's your preference. I do put some shoe care on it, and I do polish it up, give it a little bit more of a shine to it. I'll show you a couple different layers of the shine. Allen Edmonds doesn't do a whole lot of detailed polishing work. I mean, they got a nice polish sheen on it now, but you know, they don't do a high polish shine. I'll go ahead and take a look at this pair since I haven't opened it yet. This is, I believe, I've got another pair coming also, but I believe this is the Double Monk. Oh, and since I know this is a outdoorsy guy type of channel, I've gone ahead and I'm going to shine my shoes on the back of my truck here on the tailgate. I got the tailgate down, and you know, I like to get out of the house anyway and do stuff, so perfect. Okay, this is Allen Edmonds. Yeah, this is the Double Monk. It is, the color is chili color, and these are size 11E. Really nice double monk. I have some single monks, but I don't have any double monks, so I'm going to go ahead and pause. I'm going to try these shoes on first, and if they're good, we'll get back into shining them. All right, the shoes fit great. Just so you're aware, for Allen Edmonds, my foot size is an 10.5, almost 11, triple E on a Brannock. So I buy 11E. This one is actually an 11.5 triple E. So this one is fairly snug, not uncomfortable. The shoe's going to stretch, so I'm between, on the Brannock, when I'm an 11 or I'm a 10.5 triple E, I'm going to wear an Allen Edmonds 11 to 11.5. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shine the cap toes here. This is actually a burgundy burnish color is what they call it. So we'll take a look at that. Now, what I do for kits is I have just simple, I'm an easy guy, you know, a couple different kits here. One of them, this kit here is black, so it's all the black colors. Just grab some of these things out of here. So grab some rags, black. This one here is brown bag it's in, so we'll go ahead and grab some of these things. I have a few different things. I have some flannel, some cotton, some regular rags, microfiber, and just some basic cut up t-shirts that I'll use for rags here. I've got a full 8-inch brush, and I think that's a 5.5 brush, something like that. So I got a couple brushes, and of course a couple applicators. Now for cleaning the shoes, I'm not really going to be cleaning the shoes. I do use this Angelus leather saddle soap on a shoe that needs some good cleaning. These are pretty much brand new shoes, or there are brand new shoes, so I'm not going to saddle soap them. Primarily I use two different types of waxes. I'll use, kiwi on some of my stuff. This is a neutral and a brown. But primarily I use a product called a Saphir. Some people pronounce that sapphire. I believe its correct pronunciation is Saphir. This is like a shoe cleaner, a mild shoe cleaner, and it also gives some of the oils back into the shoe. So I'm going to use this first. After that, I'm going to use a cream polish. Now I'm going to use neutrals. I'm going to use all neutral because I don't want to make this shoe any darker. I don't want to take the chance of this shoe getting darker than it is. It's a dark brown already, so I'm going to use the Saphir. This is the cream shoe polish. It's a neutral. And then I'm going to come back with the Saphir wax, the high gloss. It's the Saphir high gloss. This is more of a wax. It's not like the kiwi wax where this stuff is real hard. Some of my old boots that I used to shine, I'd heat up the kiwi wax, heat it up, torch it a little bit, get it hot and apply it. This Saphir is not like that. This stuff is real good stuff. Saphir line of product is a little bit expensive, but it goes a long way. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I go ahead and take off the shoelaces out of the shoe. I take them all the way out. Some people leave them. I'm just going to take them out. All right, some people will take a shoe tree, fit it into the shoe, shine the shoe. If that's what you do, that's fine. That's great. It's up to you. It works perfectly well. I don't tend to do that, however. I like to be able to get my hand in there to turn the shoe around, so that's personal preference, I guess. I'm going to do just one shoe completely all the way through. I'll do a couple different levels of shine on it. I'm going to actually take these to a higher gloss on the toe and around the heel area, but I'll show you what just the cream polish will do before I add some of the harder wax polish to it. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get and this again is a shoe cleaner revitalizer. So I'll do the right foot shoe and I'll leave the left one completely plain for right now. So I'll go ahead, I'll just put that around on the shoe. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this in with my fingers. Some people put gloves on. This is a neutral color also, but I tend to just work this in by hand. You really feel how the leather accepts the product when you do it by hand. Get around the heel. Make sure that gets worked into the leather real well. The leather shoes, I was talking about my size earlier. You really don't want the leather shoe loose because the leather will stretch. I mean, you don't want it uncomfortably tight, but you don't want a loose fitting shoe because the leather eventually stretch out and fit to your foot, conform to your foot. All right, so there it is on there, and you can see it's got a little bit of a haze on there, which it's supposed to have. So I'm going to come back from here and I'm going to just get a microfiber and I'm just going to do a quick wipe all the way around the shoe. Quick wipe around the shoe. And again, that's starting to get some good moisture and oil into the shoe. Now I'm going to come back after the rag and I'm just going to hit it with a horsehair. I'm using a horsehair brush. This helps get in all the nooks and crannies and the holes, the broguing. And this is only a cap toe, so there's not a whole lot on this shoe. Okay, pretty good. So it looks pretty similar because all that really was a cleaner, right, and rejuvenator. All right, from there we're going to get into the cream shoe polish. This is again the neutral colored Saphir cream shoe polish. Now again with the shoe polish I also apply this with my hands, my fingers. If you don't, that's fine. If you want to wear gloves, or if you want to use an applicator, it's all good. So what I'm going to do is I usually work my way from rear to front. It doesn't matter. You can go front to rear, I guess. So I'll come around the heel and I'll just start working that in with my hand. Now the cream polish I'll apply over the entire shoe. I apply wax all over the entire shoe, but I primarily focus on the toe and the heel. I don't want to put too much polish in the creased areas that are going to crease. It'll crack and it'll just look terrible. Again, neutral color. I don't want this thing getting any darker. You know, if you do use too dark of a polish on a shoe, you can always, strip the shoe, come back with some saddle soap or some cleaners, and take the leather down to basically the way it came. I don't want to take any coloration out of this, so I don't want to use a harsh cleaner. Go ahead and work that in there pretty well. And you can notice that it's got a haze on it, which it's supposed to. You can let it develop a haze. Now I can let the shoe wax sit on there until it's dry. It doesn't matter how long you leave it on there. It's not going to hurt it if you leave it overnight even. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to just wipe the shoe. I'm going to wipe it first and I'll come back and hit it with a brush. Just do a quick wipe down of it. I'm going to come back with the horsehair brush and I'm going to hit that. Brush, and I'm going to go follow that same line, rear all the way up to the toe. The tongue of the shoe. Now you can apply a lot of pressure here. You don't got to be gentle with this. You're generating some heat with the brush and the bristles, and that's what's bringing the shine out of the wax. Okay, bring that back out. Now the Saphir shoe polish, it's hard to tell. They're almost identical. There is a little bit more gloss in just the cream polish. The cream polish is not meant to bring out a real high mirror-like shine. That's not what it's intended to do. Now you could put another layer of the cream on there if you want, but pretty much if this is the kind of luster or shine that you prefer right here, and that suffices, then just leave it. If you really want any higher of a shine, step up to the wax. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start putting on the higher shine on the toe and the heel. I'm going to use the Saphir high gloss wax type polish. It's very different than the Kiwi as an example. It's a lot softer of a wax, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply this again. I apply this with just my hand again. So I'm going to start from the heel. And I'm going to work my way to the front of the shoe. I'm kind of applying this in straightforward but also circular motions, just trying to get good coverage. Okay, again, there you go. Shoe is hazed back up a little bit here. Make sure that's worked into the leather. All right, now I'm going to let that set up for a couple minutes here, and then we'll hit it. Okay, now that I let that sit for a couple minutes, I'm going to come back and hit it straight with the horsehair brush. All right, now we've got that first coat on there, and I'm going to apply multiple applications here. I'm not going to put a whole lot more around the entire shoe. I'll start focusing in on basically the toe and heel area, a little bit on the sides, and up around the lace area here. I'm going to avoid too much wax on this part of the shoe and on the tongue of the shoe. I'm going to go ahead and apply one more coat just like that, and then I'll come back and I'll start hitting it up with the higher shine with the flannel cloth here. All right, this is the second application. All right, I'm gonna let that set up for a couple minutes here. Okay, let that set up. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna hit it with the horsehair brush, and then after this one, I'm gonna go ahead and come in with the flannel cloth. I've got a couple different, I don't know what you call it, thread counts maybe, how smooth or how thick the cloths are. I'm going to come back and hit it with the rougher cloth first, which is pretty smooth, don't think it's rough, and then I'll come back with a final finish with the finer cloth, or more thread count possibly, or tighter weave cloth. Okay, I got a brand new pair of shoes, so I'm going to use a new cloth on this. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to snug this up here a little bit. Work this shoe. Nice smooth surface. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start polishing on this shoe. And what I want to do is, you want to come in with some water and just get your polishing cloth here a little bit damp, because the water is what's going to really help this thing gloss up and get that good shine on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick buff before I add more polish. I'll add more polish here in a second, just to show you what that looks like. Okay, now I'm going to start working my way around the shoe a little bit. I'm going to start from the rear here. So you can see with just the cloth and water on it right now, and you can feel when the cloth starts drying up, you'll start feeling that heat friction. Just go ahead and dampen your cloth again, and you'll get more of a glide. You'll feel a difference in the shoe. You'll start feeling the glide now. It'll start gumming up, or not gumming up, it'll start slowing down, a little more friction when the cloth starts getting dry. All right. Okay, the shoe's starting to take a higher shine. The toe is absolutely got a good shinier finish to it, quite a bit, and then the standard shoe. So now what I'll do is I'll come in and I'm going to add some wax. So I'm going to get some wax on my finger. I'm going to come in and apply it, and then I'll come back and hit it with the wet cloth. And I kind of tap it on my hand like that. You'll see a lot of people that shine shoes do that. And the reason they're doing that is sometimes you get too much water on there. You don't want it soaking wet, and that takes out some of the water. Now I'm going to start working my wax through here instead of going up on the shoe, because I don't want it into the areas where the wax is going to do a lot of cracking. It's a harder, stiffer part of the shoe that doesn't flex and bend as much, so I can add some wax to these areas to increase the shine. Again, I don't want to get too much into where the shoe has a lot of flex and cracks, because you'll start seeing all those cracks, and they kind of get flaky white, and they just look terrible if you get into those areas too much. Okay, let's start getting on this cap toe area here. It just depends on how much work you want into your shoe, put into your shoe, or what type of shine you want to end up with. How mirror of a shine you prefer or don't prefer. Just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to take it up to a little bit higher of a gloss. I would probably be okay with, well, this type of finish right here on the monk strap, the double monk, I would probably leave it at that. It's not meant to be as formal of a shoe. This one I'm okay with taking it to a little bit higher of a sheen. Again, the heel is a stiff part of the shoe, and I'm going to bring the heel to a higher sheen also. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Like I said, I think if these were the double monks, I'd probably stop right about at this amount of shine. I don't think I would go any further than this. That would suffice. But we're going to take this heel area through the side here, and then the cap toe, and I'm going to put a little bit more of a shine on that. Okay. Okay, it's getting a nice mirrored shine on there. Let's take it up a little bit more through the heel. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in frame. Hopefully I'm staying in frame here. I'm working the shoe. Now, the more layers of wax you add, the shinier the shoe's going to get, obviously. So, again, that's only limited on what you want or your preference. Okay, I'm going to start working my way up the side over here, along this edge and up through the heel. If you notice, when I'm applying wax, I kind of go in a circular motion, but when I'm coming back and buffing like this, I tend to just go in straight lines. I can generate a little more speed and a little more, create a little more friction for the polish to shine up. I'll sometimes do this to start seeing if I got polish still moving on the shoe, and then come back pretty much in straight lines and hit it like that. Okay, just from there, the shoes got quite a bit more, very noticeable. I mean, different shoe already. The sheen, the shine. Now, like I said, if this was my double monks, a little more casual of application, I'd probably leave it like this. I'm going to take the toe cap up to a bit more shine in it. So I'm going to come back again. I'm going to come back with the wax, and I'm going to hit it right away with the damp buffing cloth. Work on that shine. Again, if you feel that slowing down a little bit, get it damp again. Now you'll see guys take this thing up to like an absolute mirror shine. I don't know if I want to get it to that point. I don't really care so much for that mirrored glass like shine. I'm business oriented, not fashion so much. I mean, I don't want to split hairs on what those are, but my personal preference is I don't like that mirror shine. I'm going to gloss these up a little bit more though, just for the sake of this video. I'm going to come back and I'm going to hit it one more time. Plus it's time consuming, you know. It just depends on how much time you want to spend doing this. I guess some guys really like shining shoes, and that's great, fantastic. I don't dislike it. I've been shining shoes, especially boots, for a long time. But you know, I'm not one of those guys this is a career for me or an intense hobby. It's not. So I kind of want to get in and out. I must have spent, I don't know how long I've spent on this thing. This must be half hour already. Just one shoe. Of course it would go quicker if I wasn't setting things up and videoing and all that, but okay, now there's a pretty good shine on that cap toe there. Okay, now I'm going to switch to a finer cloth, a little bit finer. And I'm going to come back with just water. Get a nice smooth surface here, not too much water. I'm going to come back and I'm just going to the whole shoe. Bring out just a little bit more shine out of the shoe. wax on there. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, let's take a look at these two shoes together side by side. Again, quite a bit of difference in the two shoes. So there you go. That's how I do it. I'm going to go ahead and hit the other shoe. And maybe I'll even bring up the toe a little bit higher.